What's going on, guys? Welcome to Arsenal Fan TV, and it is yet another one of those lethargic, effortless performances from Arsenal which has seen us result in a 3-0 defeat away to Everton. Such a shocking performance, shocking result. If we'd have won this game, it really would have put top 4 to bed. We could have, had a little breather in our last 5 fixtures, which have now become much more difficult games. We've now got Everton really hot on our trails, a point behind with a game in hand, so potentially they could go into 4th. We've also got Man United behind us. We can't rule them out as well. They're only 7 points behind as well, considering we were 14 points or whatever above them earlier. We've just imploded. We have fallen apart, and what looked like a confidence-building result and performance at Manchester City the other week, to go to this, it's not on. It's not good enough. It was such a poor performance from Arsenal, just not involved in the game whatsoever. And the worst part is we're losing 3-0 to Everton. Everton, they're a quality side and they were totally worthy of their victory today, and they probably should have beaten us by a couple of more goals. And the reality is, if we were playing someone like Liverpool, Chelsea, City, we would have been absolutely spanked today. Not saying that we weren't already, because Everton absolutely made us look like absolute mugs. They were by far the better team, worthy of their victory. We just didn't turn up. You could say that Everton deserved 4th because of their heroics. They fought so hard for their victory today, whereas we just absolutely bottled it. Just no fight, no desire, no passion from any player on the pitch. Too many players making too many mistakes. It was just dreadful from Arsenal. The starting lineup, you could tell there was no pace in it whatsoever, but you could take a little bit of optimism in the fact that we had the likes of Rosicky, Podolski, Cazorla, players that are supposed to have creativity, but they didn't do anything like that today. Giroud wasn't involved in the game at all. Arteta was absolutely abysmal. Flamini picking up a yellow card, so of course he misses the semi-final, which is a huge blow. Vermaelen, it was just garbage, absolute garbage today. Monreal, I don't even know if the guy is Arsenal quality, because today, he's being caught out of position so many times. We missed Gibbs massively today. The only positive really was that Ramsey was back in the squad. He got a little bit of light training on him today, because this wasn't a good game for him to come back into. The game was lost when he came on. Bit of an insult to bring him on, really, and he just we looked more creative when he came. The whole team looked better when he came on, but it was too little, too late from Arsenal. And the substitutions came far too late into the second half. But like I was saying, that starting lineup, it was one that it lacked pace, it lacked a lot. And honestly, in hindsight, Chamberlain probably should have started the game. Ramsey, if I knew he would have been in that kind of physical condition, because I didn't think he was overly fit for this game, but he looked alright to me. I probably would have started him for this one ahead of Arteta, even Cal Strom ahead of Arteta, because he was just, I can't quite get my head around how he was so poor today. He was just absolute garbage. The game, I thought it didn't start poorly from Arsenal. We weren't absolutely dreadful. We were having some good spells of possession. Podolski had a couple of shots on goal. It didn't look bad. It certainly didn't look like a game where we were going to be knocked out of it in the first 10 minutes. But I think it was 15 minutes in, we let Everton through. Vermaelen caught ball watching. Simply not good enough from him. Szczesny did really well to save the initial effort from Lukaku. Back to Naismith, unmarked, simple finish, 1-0. You'd think maybe us could bounce back from that, but we didn't. There was no creativity at all from Arsenal. The likes of Rosicky, Cazorla, Arteta having absolutely wild shots into bundles of players. It was pointless shooting. It was a real hit and hope from Arsenal, and you couldn't tell at times whether Everton were playing Arsenal or someone like West Brom, because it was just so pathetic football at times. It was garbage. It was so poor. And then we carried on in that second towards the back end of the first half, and again lethargic, no creativity from Arsenal. Conceded again from Lukaku. Arteta losing the ball in midfield like he's been doing so often throughout his campaign. They were allowed to pass the ball to Lukaku, who was totally unmarked on the right hand side of the pitch. Monreal, miles out of position. Then we let him just run at us. No one made any attempt to tackle him. Just all these players like Vermaelen, Mertesacker, Kamara, just watching him run at them and then just letting him shoot. 2-0. Simple as that. It was just so easy for them, and you're never going to see someone like Giroud try and do that. Lukaku is a guy that is absolutely full of confidence, exploited us today, absolutely ran our defenders ragged, and deservedly got a goal and put in a really good performance. Second half, you kind of think, Is it game over? Can we come back? Can we claw it back to 2-2? But we came out and it was a little better from us. We did have some good attempts on goal. Cazorla was certainly getting involved in the game a lot more. Giroud came, well, I wouldn't say he came close, it was a mistake, and it was really good work by Sanya, who probably was our best player, to get the ball off. I think it was Coleman, and then put it into the box for Giroud, who couldn't get it past Tim Howard, and he was crucial for them today. Tim Howard made a couple of really good saves, especially from a Chamberlain effort later in the game, but even if that had gone in, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. But caught in possession far too often throughout the whole game. We conceded yet again, and this was really poor from Sanya, who I thought had been having a relatively good game up until this point. Like I said, I thought he was our best player, and that says a lot that our right back was our best player. And he was caught absolutely out-muscled by Morales, and it was just the nature of this goal just wasn't good enough. Our defence absolutely fell asleep. Just the own goal by Arteta. How could that happen? He just so late to react, and Arteta just had such a poor game today, and he has to be dropped for the semi-final against Wigan, because he's past it. He's so past it. He was responsible, not completely responsible, but involved in 2 of the goals we could see today. He either has to up his game or be dropped. I think we've really got to do the latter of the two there. Bring in someone like Kellstrom, or even we've got to start Ramsey, no doubts about that, at Wigan. And if we play like we have today against Wigan, no doubts we are going out there. No doubts whatsoever, because they're going to be really pumped up for that game. We're going into no confidence. Wigan have strung together a whole heap of wins now. We haven't won since the Tottenham game. So it really is not looking good at the moment. We've got to be getting some wins on the board. And Everton, they do have a couple of tough fixtures. I think they've got to go to Southampton away, they've got to play United, they've got to play City. So there's no doubts that they are going to drop points. They're not going to win all of those games. But we've got to win our last 5 fixtures. And what I saw as 5 wins out of 5 just became a whole load more of difficult games. It is going to be an extremely tough run-in. And 4th and the FA Cup is a good season. But the fact that if we'd have got 4th comfortably, I could have come to terms with that after going out of the league. Which is beyond gone now. The league is totally gone. I could have got 4th comfortably, but the fact that we're having to scrape for 4th with Everton, it's not good enough. And my main concern is next season, when you've got the likes of United, who are undoubtedly going to come back into the frame of things. Tottenham, their squad might gel together. It's just going to be an extremely difficult task. We've got to rebuild over summer. We have to go under some kind of redevelopment process. Because there's too much going wrong at the moment, and we're not learning from these kind of games. I mean, City, Liverpool, today it's just happening far too often. Questions asked as to why that is. Why aren't we learning in these kind of games? Because we've just been outclassed by an Everton side away from home. It's not good enough. But can we bounce back from this against Wigan in the Cup? It's going to be extremely difficult. I'm not really going into that game with an awful lot of confidence, but if we can win that, maybe we can turn things around. I'm not sure how many times I've been saying that this season, but it is going to be difficult. It is going to be extremely difficult to beat Wigan at Wembley, because they're just going to be so fired up for it. And we've just played so lethargically today. But fingers crossed we could do something there, then go into our last 5 fixtures with confidence, pick up this FA Cup, get a top 4 finish. But of course we're now having to rely on Everton to drop points, which isn't ideally how we wanted to be ending this campaign. Anyway, leave your thoughts on the game in the comments box below. If you have enjoyed the video, it'd be great if you click the like button. Subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.